The evening news. I am Abdul DBC. President Bola Tinubu has expressed his administration's readiness to work with the National Assembly leadership to dismantle political and bureaucratic bottlenecks stalling the operationalization of state police. Speaking at the State House in Abuja, during a meeting with members of the Northeast Governors Forum led by Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Zulum, the president said the time has come for a clear and collective path towards community-based policing and reflects the peculiar needs of different regions. The president stressed that while political concerns will always surface around the issue, they must not be allowed to derail urgent security reform, adding that his government is committed to ensuring that the proposed structure will be insulated from partisanship and designed to strengthen safety across communities. President Tinubu also vowed not to allow partisan politics or early campaign distraction to shift his focus from national priorities. He said the gains are already being recorded in the Northeast, including improved security, resettlement of displaced persons, rising school enrollment, and new housing projects, which are proof that collaborative governance works. The president urged the governors to sustain their commitment to development and security while assuring them of continued federal support. In the meantime, the political momentum in Osun State has received a royal boost as the Olubadan designate His Imperial Majesty Oba Rashid Ladoja openly endorsed Governor Ademola Adeleke for his second term in office. The endorsement came during Governor Adeleke's congratulatory victory, a visit to the monarch at his private residence in Ibadan, Oyo State, ahead of his official coronation later in the month. The Olubadan designate's words carried both weight and symbolism, drawing from his own political journey as a senator and former governor of Oyo State. Obaladoja praised Governor Adeleke's performance, noting his developmental strides across Osun State and urging continuity beyond 2026. In a rare gesture of commitment, the monarch, who pledged to attend Governor Adeleke's second-time swearing-in ceremony, declared that one good term deserves another. He commended the governor for changing the narrative of the state with visible progress, also offered prayers for Governor Adeleke's continued success. Governor Adeleke, who was moved by the endorsement, congratulated Oba Ladoja on his historic ascension as the 44th Olubadan, promising to honor the revered monarch during his coronation. The governor was accompanied by top government officials and family members, including the secretary to the Osun State government, Alhaji Teslim Ibalaye, Chief of Staff to the Governor, Alhaji Kasim Akineye, and other members of the State Executive Council, and the matriarch of the Adeleke dynasty, Yeje Modupe Adeleke Sani, among others. Osun State government has been commended for creating a soft landing for private schools to thrive and being lenient with the levies and motivations, not only for the operators of schools, but also all entrepreneurs in the state. A private school proprietor in the state, Mr. Emmanuel Oyedele, gave the commendation shortly after featuring on OSBC television current affairs program Newsmaker. According to Mr. Oyedele, to whom much is given, much is expected, saying that inasmuch as the government is proactive in the development of the state, private schools should cooperate with the government by paying their dues appropriately. He speaks.
To do the next, because the governments are doing their own part, but we need government to do more to consolidate on that. So through the money, the money they realize from the private schools, from the registration stuff and everything. So once they get the money from the schools who are registered, those unregistered schools should be able and try their best to get their school registered. Then we can say the government are doing what we want for us. So if schools are not registered, how will the government be able to do what we want for us? Those schools, they should try to register their schools. Then we know the rest of the things is coming from the government, concerning the security, road and everything. We'll be able to, talk to the governments, beseech them, and everything they need to do concerning schools and everything we did, they will be able to do it for us.
recommended that the government should abolish graduation ceremonies for pre-primary school pupils, and textbooks should be transferable from a pupil to the younger ones, as such will save parents from economic exploitation.
The problem about the textbook is that it has reduced the handwriting of the pupils, because most of this classwork and everything, they do it in the textbooks. 50–60% of what they're supposed to write in their notebooks has been written in the textbook. So this is affecting their handwriting. So once they give them the assignment from the textbook, they should allow them to do it in their own notebook. They'll be able to write. I could remember then I learned writing through writing. My friends started them to write notes, everything, and that was where I learned everything. So they should allow them to write the assignment from the textbook back to the notebook.
The 3-day funeral rites for late Professor Joseph Agbedaunsi climaxes tomorrow with a funeral mass at St. Benedict Catholic Cathedral, Popo Osogbo, while the reception for guests will come up at the Imperial Event Center of Atedo. According to the release by the organizer, a commendation mass was held at St. George Catholic Church of Atedo this morning before the body of the late professor of pharmacognosy was laid in state at the Faculty of Pharmacy of Bafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. As at this moment, Christian wake is being held at Aurora Event Center, Osogbo. Late Professor Agbedaunsi passed away on 16 June this year at age 70. He is survived by his wife, Annie Abimbola, 4 children, and other relations. I'm coming from the sports arena. Ahead of the crucial World Cup qualifying feature between the Super Eagles and the Bafana of South Africa next week, the Free State Stadium located in Bloemfontein has been cleared to host the clash by governing bodies FIFA and CAF. According to report, there had been uncertainty over which venue will host Bafana's World Cup qualifying matches at home after concerns had been raised about the unsatisfactory pitch conditions at the Free State Stadium. And from the foreign scene, a Peruvian court has sentenced former President Alejandro Toledo to 13 years and 4 months in prison for money laundering, his second conviction in connection with widespread corruption. Toledo's conviction followed a sentence of 20 years and 6 months handed down last year when he was found guilty of accepting up to $35 million in bribes from Odebrecht in exchange for awarding the company lucrative public works contract. And that ends the evening news on OSBC television. To join us at 7 for the major report. Good afternoon. Good evening.